Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's Words of Wisdom. Today's is from March 7th, but again, this was the one that was repeated from the past. So I chose my own from this Kyoten, The Laws of Great Enlightenment. And today's quote is, "The cycle of cause and effect never fails to complete itself," from The Laws of Great Enlightenment. Thank you, Master. So it's page 195 from this Kyoten, but the reason why I chose this, and I'm planning on reading the whole section, which is about 6 pages, is because the laws of cause and effect is one of the most fundamental teachings here at Happy Science. And Master Okawa talks about 2 types of the laws of cause and effect here, and I just wanted our viewers to know about the main basic teachings of Happy Science. So here I go, page 195, and I quote, "The cycle of cause and effect never fails to complete itself. Enlightenment in Buddhism also includes the laws of cause and effect. Of the 2 elements, freedom and peace, the laws of cause and effect is more closely related to freedom. There are 2 types of the laws of cause and effect. One is time causality, which is represented by a vertical line of time. In the flow of cause and effect, or in the chains of causality through past, present, and future, humans live, society moves on, and history goes on. Depending on what you do today, your life will change and so will the lives of those around you. As a result, the world will also change to some extent. If you are in a position of influence, your decisions can affect the direction of your entire company, society, the country, or even the world. In this way, the future is a result of the accumulation of choices, so it is essential to be deeply aware of the importance of your choices. Buddha granted humankind freedom of mind and the law of cause and effect. Freedom of mind is always accompanied by responsibility. It means that we have to accept whatever happens as the consequence of our original action. It is something we have to be prepared to accept. While the result of a particular action can manifest in this world, sometimes the cycle of cause and effect is not completed here. In that case, it will be completed without fail in the world beyond this one. In this world, there may be times when you feel that you have not been rewarded in spite of all your efforts, while at the same time, others may achieve great success with hardly any effort. If you only look at such outcomes by themselves, it may certainly seem unfair in that cause and effect does not necessarily seem to work. However, it is precisely because the cycle of cause and effect is not complete in this world that the following is the logical deduction. The cycle of cause and effect will certainly be completed in the real world that transcends this one. In this world, it sometimes happens that good people die unhappy deaths, but they are not unhappy events in the truest sense. These people are guaranteed their reward in heaven. In this world on earth, it may sometimes appear that evil people prosper, but their prosperity does not continue forever. It is sure to be a major attachment for them and will cause them suffering in the next world. As you can see from this, good causes do not necessarily yield good results, and bad causes do not always yield bad results in this world. In fact, it sometimes appears as if the opposite is true. In Buddhist terms, this is called vipaka, and its result, vipaka pala, or an effect which has a different moral nature from its cause. This kind of phenomenon can be seen in a variety of situations. When it occurs, it simply means that the cycle of cause and effect has yet to be completed in this world, but will be completed once the person has moved on to the next world. What I've explained so far is a situation concerning the end of a person's life, but a similar situation can hold true at the beginning of one's life. Although we say that all people are children of Buddha and God, and therefore all people are equal, there are actually differences in the circumstances of our birth. Some are born into wealth, while others are into poverty. There are yet others who were born with some kind of physical handicap, illness, or disability. There are also differences in intelligence and physical strength. Everyone is different and people are not necessarily equal. When seen from the perspective of the present time, it may appear that circumstances represent inequality and unfairness. However, you have to remember that the outcomes of past reincarnations continue to take effect. As for matters that are incomprehensible or inexplicable when you only observe this current life, you can assume that the original cause lies in your actions of previous lives. It is only after taking this into account that you're able to explain the differences which occur at birth. If this was not the case, everyone would be born the same. In reality, however, the only matter that is equal is the fact that all are born infants. There are differences in the gifts, abilities, constitutions, and other qualities they possess. It is because factors not only from this life are at work here. The moment of birth is a beginning, but simultaneously it is also a result. The result of a person's various journeys in past lives determines the starting point of this lifetime. The law of cause and effect does not finish a cycle in a single lifetime. It continues from the limitless past into the limitless future. This is the laws of cause and effect through the progression of time. People live by mutual support. The law of cause and effect also has a spatial aspect. We support each other as we live, and we live in a space where there is mutual support. There is support for each other between husband and wife, parent and child, among friends, or even colleagues. This is what is known as interdependence. It is important to realize that people live out their lives depending on one another. This can be likened on how trade impacts Japan and the US. If Japan can supply goods at low cost to the US, not only will the Japanese make some profit, but the Americans will benefit too. Each country is connected and has an impact on others, and in this way the entire world develops and prospers. The kind of causality that exists in commerce can also be found in interpersonal relationships. Living in this world means that people share mutual relationships in the space of this world. In other words, they live amidst a space causality. Moreover, the fact that people live with mutual support means that principle of love is at work within this world. While humans must live responsibly in the flow of time, in the vertical chains of cause and effect, they also support each other in the horizontal sense of space. This understanding leads us to volunteer missionary work as acts of compassion, which I mentioned earlier. We must save many people because we can create a better age in society by supporting one another. Therefore, even from the viewpoint of space causality, missionary work is extremely important. Missionary work will, of course, bring happiness to the person to whom you're conveying the truth. But not only that, it'll also make the world in which you live a better place, while at the same time it'll nourish you. By improving yourself, you'll improve others as well, and make the world you live in an even better place. In this way, it creates a cycle of goodness, which will also make the future better. In fact, space causality means that we're living in a world where things influence one another endlessly. The world is like a fishing net that is comprised of vertical and horizontal lines which have been knotted together. Each of the knots where the lines cross represents a person's individuality with its own name and character. Each knot is separate, but only when the vertical and horizontal lines join together to become a net can task of catching fish to be accomplished. In the same way, humans carry out a grand mission as we live together in community. As a single knot, they can achieve nothing. This net of interwoven lines stretches out to encompass the entire universe and is known as Indra's net. Everyone is a part of this vast net, independent in one aspect and at the same time connected to everyone else. This net is formed by the truth of the great universe, by the will of Buddha of the great universe. People are part of a whole. They are a part as well as a whole. They are alone but not alone. They are a huge multitude and yet individuals. This is the truth of life. End quote. All right, so that was very long, but I just wanted you to know that Master Okawa talks about space causality and time causality. And looking at the time and laws of cause and effect in the viewpoint of time, our previous lifetime, this lifetime, and the next lifetime, it will help us want to continuously make efforts. And if you look at space causality, what happens is when you spread love, when you give love, it eventually comes back to you through many different ways. This is explained, in a way scientifically, I guess, in Buddhism as space causality. So effort and love is always going to come back for us for the better. That would be the end of today. Thank you very much. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.